Ancient travellers left behind their golden travel accounts in the form of travelogues for the future generations to read, learn and delight. We bring those to you in our audio series, Travelogues in Time.
Today we have for you the final part of the travel accounts of Niccolao Manucci, the Venetian traveller from Italy. The script is by Professor Pius Malekkandathil and presented by Abhay Rajdutt. In the last 4 parts, we had dwelt upon the arrival of Manucci to India, his book, The History of Mughals, his association with Dara Shikoh, information about Mughal politics and succession war, his relation with Aurangzeb, Manucci's turning into a physician, military adventures of Raja Jai Singh and the description of South India, ecclesiastical conflicts, cultural conflicts between European clergy and Indian Christians, the conflict between Portuguese and Mughal and the Maratha rulers, cultural practices and forms of government in South India, Manucci's political and diplomatic skills in dealing with Portuguese and the Marathas. Over to Abhay Rajdutt for the final part.
The geography and the themes mostly covered in the 4th volume happened to be Pondicherry and Madras, which were the last theatres of activities for Manucci. At a time when the French were increasingly asserting power in India in the first part of the 18th century, it was quite natural that Manucci also shifted his activities to the French-controlled terrain of Pondicherry. He refers to the complex nature of ecclesiastical conflicts that broke out between the Capunists and the Jesuits on the question of accommodating local cultural practices and traditions in Christianity, which is often known as Malabar Rite controversy. This started with Robert de Nobili's endeavors in Madurai to allow the high caste people of the place to retain their caste-specific traditions and cultural practices even after their conversion to Christianity. Manucci gets interested in this conflict, and with the arrival of Cardinal Charles Milliard de Tournon, the papal legate at Pondicherry, he gets deeply involved in the issue, setting a major part of the 4th volume for matters related to religion and the Catholic Church of Tamil Nadu. The papal legate forbade the Christians from smearing the forehead with ashes made out of cow dung, from ceremonial baths, from omen-related use of coconuts, from the use of tali without cross, from discriminating pariyas, from the use of yellow dishes, etc., which were considered to have been borrowed from Hindu practices, but were then followed among the Christians of Madurai since the time of Robert de Nobili. Manucci shows how the visit of the legate triggered fresher controversies. He also refers to the Dutch blockade of Goa, occupation of Muscat by the Yareba forces by mid-17th century, the flow of food materials from Kanara to feed Goa, the drought in Deccan in 1702 to 1704, Dutch activities in coastal southern India, theoretical performances of the Jesuits in Pondicherry, the earthquake in Gujarat in 1705, details on Maratha attack on Celeste in 1706, death of Manucci's wife in 1706, death of Aurangzeb in 1707, and the consequent coronation of Shah Alam, etc. After the death of his wife in 1706, he went to Pondicherry and stayed there for a considerable time. However, in 1712, on the request of Shah Alam, Manucci wanted to meet him in Lahore, and the Madras Council of the English found it an opportune moment to entrust upon Manucci the job of mediating with Shah Alam for resolving some of their pending issues. However, this travel did not happen as Shah Alam died soon. Manucci, who had spent almost 61 years in India, died in the city of Madras in 1717. While traveling through India in the second half of the 17th century and early decades of 18th century, almost for 61 years as part of his diverse missions, Manucci gathered different pieces of information from the elite segments he interacted, from the merchants that he daily met, and also from the ordinary people, from the bazaars with whom he had close contacts, which enabled him to give different categories of perceptions about the events, institutions, and personalities he chose to include in his account. His narrative incorporates many of the stories and popular versions of historical events that happened across the length and breadth of India between 1656 and 1717. Almost all the most significant historical developments in India during this time period is analyzed in Manucci's account in his own style, and they are presented either as a direct account of a participant or as a perception of an observer or a reproduction of what he heard from others. The vast expanse of geography it covers, the innumerable number of personalities and institutions it describes, the nuances of diverse historical processes it unravels, and the vastness of the thematic range that works has did really make his account a precious and inevitable source book for understanding the nuisance trajectories within which the early modern India got shaped.
You have just heard the final part of the travel accounts of Niccolao Manucci, the Venetian traveller from Italy.
Travelogues in time. Travelogues